on our fire.
Yeah, I fuck with it.
Now
you got the right lineup.
There was another Brazilian on there too, so it would have been like Brazilian. It's pretty crazy. All right. Philly's lost, but we're here.
Yeah, it's the only way we can talk about our depression. So, and we're not even talking about the sport. So let's get it.
Nope. It's good. All righty. I got something for you here today. Ready? We're gonna give it a go. All right. Let's see. All right, y'all. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. If you guys are watching on video, we got a new countdown theme for you. Paulie, how do you think about that countdown theme I got going on there?
I like it. Yeah. It gives you the excitement.
Well, the problem is we have a countdown going on that's already on here, and it plays like that little theme music.
Yeah, it's fire too.
They kept flagging them for like some audio, and they kept giving me warnings and shit. You know, Facebook likes to send you that thing. So I was like, all right, I got to make something different. So I wanted to try it this time, that little countdown video without any sound on it, to see if we get flagged for something. If we don't, then next time I do it, I'm going to add a little bit of beep into it. Something. I don't know, maybe some sports sounds.
Some T-Swift beat.
Nah, bro. We're not Access Hollywood, like Al Michael said. We ain't Access Hollywood. Yeah. But anyway, guys, welcome to another episode. Now, if you guys have been following us for a while, you read the headline of what the episode is. You know today's episode is going to be straight up fucking fire, just like what we're talking about. It's my favorite type of episodes we talk about. We haven't had one of these to talk about in a while. What I mean is UFC 294. We do a lot of different stuff on this podcast, Paul, and I noticed that all the other podcasts I listen to strictly are one sport, but we are all sports. And our two favorite thing isn't even what we talk about the most, football or baseball or basketball. It's fighting. So we got a firework card coming up this weekend, and we're going to give you guys a full breakdown of the main fights on the card, which are Alexander Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev and Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev. I'm going to give you full breakdowns, full predictions, because those fights are absolutely incredible. Like, how excited are you for those fights, man?
Not at all. Well, exciting, yes. I think this is the greatest thing that ever probably happened to this card. I mean, not often do you get a card that gets messed up by a few injuries. It gets better. It's not often. This is a banger, man. This is why the UFC is constantly winning. Like boxing, Bob Arum wouldn't have done this. He won. If one of his fighters dropped out, well, one of his fighters contenders dropped out, he'd have bring in a bum just to fill the spot or dropped it.
Well, that's the
not Dana White though. Dana White's opening up that Brinks truck. Here, you want to fight? Here you go.
Like, it's not just the promoter. It's not just like Dana White. It's these guys for stepping up.
They want to fight.
Like, these two guys that are stepping up, Volkanovski and Usman, they're fighting up to fight the dogs of the weight class above them. They're fighting the boogeymen of the weight class above them. Like, 11 days notice these guys are stepping in, both of them. Pretty phenomenal. When you got a lot of balls in there to do that for both.
Again, it's why the UFC is winning. And it's hard for me to, say this and admit it. It's why the UFC is winning. So, shout out to Kamaru.
The crazy part is what people aren't talking about. Not only are they stepping up the fight, they're going to their territory. On top,
I know, it's great.
It's great. This isn't in Vegas, where it's a kind of a neutral site. This is in Abu Dhabi, Island. Like you got Chimaev fighting out of Saudi Arabia now, and then Islam is going to have probably some crowd there from Russia, Dagestan. It ain't easy. And who do you give more props to before we get into it? Volk or Usman for stepping up?
Honestly, bro, I gotta give it to Usman because he was training for something else. This isn't personal. This isn't like anything personal to him. Like Volk stepped up because this is personal. Like he wants this win back. He wants to get his out back. Usman's taking on a killer. He has nothing to do with this guy, and he's stepping up at 185. This shows his greatness. I can't be more excited for it. I mean, it's why they're always winning.
Facts, bro. I agree with you. I actually think Usman as well, simply because Volkanovski already fought.
He got balls.
I'm not even saying anything bad about Volk. You know, Volk's my favorite guy besides John Jones right now, but he already fought him. So, like, there's a little bit he already knows him. And he was training for a guy that fights opposite of what he does, but he's training for that fight in December, but at least he was like in camp. But then you got Usman, like you said, he's moving up to a weight that he never fought in against a guy that nobody in the world wants to fight.
No, nobody wants any smoke with Khamzat. And you know what?
He was training for Bilal.
Yeah.
And now with Chimaev, which are completely drastically
different fighters. Completely two different fighters. Like you got Bilal, who's a very technically sound, slower fighter, kind of likes to fight at a certain pace. Then you got Khamzat, that's like, I want the smoke.
Like you already know, I was already extremely hyped for this fight when it was Oliveira fighting him again, and we want to see Paulo Costa get beat up, but to see step up. I love Chimaev. I think Chimaev is unbelievable. I think he's a beast, but I'm not gonna lie to you here. I'm pulling for Usman. I want to see Usman get it done.
Usman too.
We sat here 2 years ago, maybe, before Usman lost, when he was on the, that 10-11
fight.
Yeah. And people were comparing him to GSP. And I was like, nah, bro. Like, don't disrespect GSP. No disrespect to Usman. I was kind of giving Usman a little disrespect. And now he lost twice, and now he's getting disrespected. So I want to see him remind everybody of who the fuck he is. And we're going to talk about that a little bit coming up. But first, guys, I want to remind you that if you are listening on audio, we are on all podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever it is. If you are listening to us on there, tag us on your Facebook or Instagram page at our Instagram at Stoop Life Sports. And if you guys are watching on video on Facebook, like it, share it, give us your thoughts on what you think. Follow us on YouTube at Stoop Knockout, or follow us, like I said, on Instagram, because we're everywhere. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We talk about a lot of different sports. We give you a lot of picks, a lot of breakdowns. So follow us on all of it, because we got a lot going on. But we got to get into this episode, man. So I got some graphics tonight here. So first we're going to start off. We got this fight card, bro. Like, this fight card right here is – we're already hyping up the co-main event and the main event. But look at the other fights we got on here. First off, I want to point out – I have a picture of it later, but look at all the beards with no mustaches we got on. That means there's a lot of weapons. That's a good one. I ain't gonna lie. 2,
here's with no mustaches.
4, 5, 6. Where else? 7. We got 7 of them. Like, unbelievable. But this fight card's great. We got Ankalaev taking on Walker at 205. We got Alskarov versus Alves at 185. We got Nurmagomedov, the cousin of Khabib, taking on Gafarov. Like, yeah, they all ended OV. And then the prelims, guys, we got Tim Elliott out here fighting Makhachev, who's 10-0. We got Yana versus my guy Trevor Peek. Then we got Basharat, another undefeated fighter, against Henry. Like, besides the main event, which fight are you actually looking forward to the most out of all these?
I like to see Johnny Walker fight all the time. I don't know why. You either love him or hate him. But I'm gonna go off the limb. Alves versus I can't never pronounce his name, who he's fighting, but I think that's gonna be a banger. That's gonna be a banger too. I mean, if you want to see Khabib's cousin as well, I think this is a better card than a lot of people are thinking.
I think this fight card is absolutely unbelievable. Like,
I think this is the best card. I think this is the best card this year.
Yeah, we got Magomedov fighting Silva at 185.
Yeah,
people are calling him the Russian Bisping because he literally only has one eye. Like, his one eye don't work. but like, dude's I think he's 14-0, I believe. I have a photo up here. Let me see. Where are we? I don't know if it's the next one or the one after. Yeah, that is. Yeah, so look at all the undefeated fighters we have on here. We got Chimaev 12-0, Makhachev 10-0, Basharat 14-0, Jubilee 7-0, Dudakova 7-0, and Magomedov 11-0. So take a look at Magomedov on the bottom right corner here, and you can see why they call him the Russian Bisping. He's an ugly motherfucker, man, but he's scary.
It's in his blood, brother.
Look at that guy. Ooh, he's ugly. But we got a lot of undefeated fighters on this fight card. I did have the numbers for the actual records of the people in this fight, but I forget I didn't have it. But it's unreal. Like, it's an unreal number, man. So we gotta get into our first fight. Oh, here's the beer one. Here it is. SNES season. So we got all the Russians.
Like, there's no where. Yo.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Russians. No
mustache. No mustaches, all beard. Oh my.
And the crazy thing is, every single one of them's last name ends in V. That's pretty wild. Like, that's how you know they're Russians. Look at them.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty crazy there. But we're going to talk about some of them coming up. Here we go, though. Our fight that we're starting with, we got our little rating system going on here. We got Alexander Volkanovski stepping up on 11 days' notice to fight the champ, Islam Makhachev. As we know, these guys already fought. Islam's last fight was against Volk, and he beat him by unanimous decision, which a lot of us thought were, questionable. Some people have Volk winning. Some people had
Volk almost edged him out, honestly.
He did. But, I mean, in my opinion, I thought Islam did win the fight, but I think that was simply because of a couple different reasons. Number one, I think the control time. He had more control time than in my 5, which was huge. And in that fight, it was a lot because it was a lot of the strikes that Volk landed were when he was on the ground. So I think it didn't really count him as much as you should on the stat card. And then number two, I think, which is going to be a big factor in this fight, is Volkanovski was timid until like the 4th or 5th round. I don't think that's going to happen this fight. I think he's going to come out and he's not going to play the long term. He's going to push that shit. He's going to see, because he knows in the 5th round. Remember the 5th round of that fight with 1 minute and 4 seconds left, he knocked him down, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" Like, he's going to knock him out. So I'm thinking he's going to start that pace early.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Do you know, though, Islam is the only fighter ever to stop 2 12-plus win streaks in UFC history, and he did it back-to-back. Pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. That's pretty dope.
It is pretty wild there. Which was the first one was Charles, and then the second one was Volk. So we got our system here. Let's talk about this real quick. We got striking. It's 94-93 Volk. I don't know if I actually agree with that. I think Volk should be like a 97. And I think it should be like a 90. I mean, he is pretty good on his feet. He doesn't prefer on his feet. But man, Volk's, like, the way he eludes punches, doesn't take hard hits at least, is phenomenal here. What do you think is the number one advantage besides the submissions for Islam in this fight?
Strength all the way. I think power as well. I mean, even though strength isn't on there, I think Islam's a much stronger fighter than Volk, and that's not disrespectful. It's just he's bred different.
Them little candies he takes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, other than that, I think Islam is just more. It's like he smothers you. He can beat you up. Like, Volk can take it, though. Don't get me wrong. Volk can take it. He showed the last fight, like, your strength and your power isn't scaring me, but that's the only thing I give him. I'm edging out when it comes to all around skill. When we look at a fighter, I gotta give it to Islam. Of course, the wrestling.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you there. I think Islam, like from all accounts of everybody that I know that trains with him and that has fought, and they're like, yo, this dude is just abnormally.
It's weird, but that's most of them. That's most of them guys on that side of the country.
They are away from USADA, and they're all on some crazy juice. I'm telling you.
All right, probably, possibly. Volk might be on some shit too.
I mean, look at the Olympic wrestling. They all got banned because they're all taking the illegal steroids, and once they got tested, they all failed. So I mean, I don't know. Volk, no, they actually test in Australia. So I mean, I don't know. But the crazy thing is,
people forget. Volk's actually a world-class athlete.
He's a former professional rugby player, and he weighs 200 pounds. So he's no slouch. He's strong too.
No, he works for this, man. Volk's like just look at him. He's bald. Come on, man. Volk's a dangerous motherfucker, man.
Listen, it's bald Volk, baby. He's a scary man. He ain't coming for a decision here. Like he's either gonna get submitted or he's gonna win by knockout. Like it's this fight, everybody thinks is gonna go to decision.
Volk can't let it go to decision now. Volk can't let it go to decision in the home country. So he, in his mind, he has to know I have to stop this guy. He can't. This can't go to a decision.
Yeah, it happened in the last fight.
Not Abu Dhabi.
But it went to decision, and yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But let's take a look at the walk-in here because I like this walk-in. It's one of the best weigh-ins I've seen in a while, and you'll see why I'm talking about here. So I got it on screen here. Here we go. Just wait for it. Let me see if I got the right one. Look how much shorter he is than though. He's fresh ass cut. He must have
he's got to be 5'4".
Fresh. He's a little midget. Here we go. Oh, Hasbulla. Look at him. You see him? Did you see how?
That's the mascot right there, bro. That is the UFC's mascot, bro. They better pay him a lot of money to stay like that too.
There he is, Hasbulla.
Yeah, look at it. Volk looked back down like, hold on. He looked back at him like, where you come from?
I saw that today. I was cracking up. Like I was like, all right, man, this work today ain't that bad. I got Hasbulla out here. Look at it. Like Volk actually looks like a giant next to him.
I know, right?
Look at him. Yeah, I mean, if you're a UFC guy and you're listening to this, everybody in the world,
you know who Hasbulla is.
Man right here is Hasbulla.
I literally call him he is the mascot of the UFC, bro. I think UFC gotta put him in there.
Who's he rooted for though? That's a problem because he's always hanging. He hangs out
with
a lot, but then he's like,
I think he's gonna rock with Islam on this one.
Yeah, I think he has to for the culture, right?
He has to rock with Islam. It's just
But bro, like, look at this shit. It's great. Islam's cracking up, laughing, and folks like looking at him like, "What's up, little bitch?" Like, yeah. He's like, "You coming to get
an angle?" It looks like he has Mickey Mouse ears on from a certain angle. Really honestly, I thought it was like a Make-A-Wish kid at first. When you first sent me the picture of him, I was like, "Yo, oh my gosh."
Dude, I had to get that one on here because we all love Hasbulla. We would love to see Hasbulla in there. But I mean, he did knock out Alexander Volkanovski before, which is crazy. A lot of people don't know. He also knocked out Shaq. So he got some power, Hasbulla.
Yeah, he does. He's a big guy. Big hands. Big hands on a little man. Big power, little man.
Anyway, back to it anyway. But I like that weigh-in, man. You got two guys there that have two belts. You got champ versus champ, which is, again, they already fought before, but was phenomenal. So to break down the first fight, we're going to talk about the first fight here. We got strikes landed in 13 fights for do I have that one on here? Let me see. Hold on. I don't have that one on here. All right, let me just wing it then. All right, so anyway, as we know, like, the Russians don't get hit. So through the first 13 punches, Islam has got a total of 112 strikes landed on him that weren't by Volkanovski. Volkanovski landed 70 strikes on him in the first fight. So of all the strikes that were landed on Islam, 40% of them were done by Volkanovski.
Wow.
Now, I know, like in boxing, like sometimes when you know a guy like pieces you up and you're fighting again, you fight a different type of way.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think he's going to be more hesitant, though. But
I think he landed 70 strikes, and I think he was hesitant. Volk. Yeah. So it's like, man, it's like you see that number of looking at it by Volkanovski's side. I'm like, all right, well, I landed 40% of strikes that he's absorbed in 13 fights, and I didn't even fight aggressively as I should.
No, he didn't. But I think he should. I do think he should fight the same way he fought, just a little extra aggressive. Not nothing crazy. Just if I could throw 3 extra punches at him, I'm going to do it. Like that. That's how he has to fight. Like he still has to be smart. That is Islam, bro.
Yeah. The one thing about like that fight too, Islam is a guy that his takedown rate is very high. But against Volk, he was 4 for 9. Whereas Volk was 0 for 4, but he wasn't really obviously trying to take him down. It was kind of, if you remember in the first 3 rounds of that fight, he was kind of doing the takedown to open up the punch. I think we might see more of that type of shit in this fight from Volk because I remember correctly that when he did do those takedowns, he landed a couple big shots on Islam, who has been knocked out in his career. So if you're the Volkanovski camp, do you try to do some, those fake takedowns again in it? Or
set traps. In boxing, we call that setting traps. I think Volk could do that. Volk's he's a very underrated counterpuncher too. So I can see Volk putting him down. Absolutely. Like he's done it before. And like you said, Islam has been knocked out once in his career. So I think Volk can pick, if he's smart like that and sets those traps, he can put him down again.
Yeah.
He can put him down again.
I agree with you. He has a lot of power, and sometimes like them Russian chins are skeptical. I mean, sometimes, but it's hard to hit him. That's the thing. Like it's hard to hit him.
Very hard to hit Islam, man. I don't know what it is. He smothers you. It's hard to hit somebody from your back. So Volk got to keep this up top.
So it's like you're looking at all these numbers for this fight, right? Because I got a lot of numbers. I'm a number guy. But like for this fight, it's like throw the numbers away because like they're really kind of like irrelevant. Because like for example, Volkanovski's number 4 with only 1.09% on bottom all time in his career. But against Islam, the first fight, he was on his back for 7 minutes and 37 seconds. So it's like a number like that. You look at it and you're like, okay, I'm really good on the back because I don't go on the back because he's
on the back.
Now, if you look at that number from Islam, you're like, yo, we win this fight by keeping this man down and not getting hit. So do you predict more than 9 takedowns attempted in this fight by Islam? Or do you think he's going to be
I don't think he's going to do more than 9. Because if they get stuffed, I mean, he can get caught with something as well. So I don't think he's going to go 9. I think Islam's going to be a little bit I won't say hesitant. I think he's going to be a little bit more careful the first time too because he knows I got put down. This motherfucker put me in my ass once. I'm not getting caught again. I got to be smart too.
That's true. And like that's one thing I was thinking about in this fight because I was looking at like the takedown attempts, the numbers like that, and then the strikes. So Volk, as we know, he lands at 6.25 or 6.3 strikes landed per minute. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like top 5 in the UFC right now, and Islam on his feet is only like 2.3. So there's a vast difference right there of styles of what these guys want to do.
Yes,
exactly. Like we talked about in the first fight, who's going to get their game plan to go better? It's 11 days notice, so it's like neither guy's really prepping for anything. And I honestly give the advantage to Volk, given the fact that he's training to fight a guy standing up rather than his takedown defense is already great. Where Islam was trying to train for like a Muay Thai kickboxer in Charles. Like Charles and Volk are two completely different styles of fighting. So I'm curious to see how good Khabib is as a coach, how good that training camp is.
He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been bad yet. He has a champion there.
Yeah, so, do, but this is the first time that they have something like this where it's like, all right, we gotta switch our our game plan like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, we'll see. Because you know them Russians, they get their head stuck on like a style that they're going to do. They're going to fight.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes they come out slow. So like if that happens in this fight and Volk comes out fast pace, we might see an early fight here. You know, the one thing Islam is very good at though is kind of reminds me of Charles, where when he gets hit, he just falls down. So it's like I could also see like Volk hitting him again, just like he did in the 5th round, but a fresh Islam in that position when Volk is hammering him, catching his arm and getting him in a choke.
Get him in a choke.
So it's like it's that's how good this fight is, man. Like you got these two guys that are both unbelievable guys. Like I said before, Volk was coming in on the first fight on a 12-fight win streak. Well, coming into this fight, we got Islam Makhachev on a 12-fight win streak right now. Current the number 1 longest active win streak in the UFC right now. Yeah. So like, what do we got here? Are we going to see a double champ, or are we going to see this guy defend his belt? Because for those of you that forgot, this is Volkanovski's resume. He absolutely dominated your boy Yair, which was shocking.
Yeah, man, that shocked me too, man. Yair, yeah, I really thought Yair was gonna go out there and give him a way better fight what he did, and like he dominated him.
I'm looking at Volk's resume, right, and I'm like, damn, like
it's a good ass fucking resume, man.
Max Holloway, Ortega, Korean Zombie, Max Holloway. I get you're fighting like 2 of the same guys there, but like that none of them are easy. Like none of those fights are easy at all. Even like the Chad Mendes, Darren Elkins leading into the title fight for a hard fight.
He was in trouble in a couple of these fights too. I mean, against Max, he was in trouble a couple of times. Against Brian Ortega, he was in trouble. So he's been in it with the.
You know, he was in different types of trouble. So he's proven that he can get out by being stunned. He's proven that he can get out by being in 5-6 different chokeholds by gargling. Yeah. But we got the Russian in freaking Islam, and it's just like it's crazy. So the odds for this fight, we got Islam Makhachev's the favorite at -295. Alexander Volkanovski coming in at +220. By points is the favorite for this fight to end. We got Islam by points at +180. We got Islam by submission at +270. Then we got Volkanovski by knockout at +500. Volkanovski by points at +500 as well. And then Islam by knockout +500, which is crazy that they have that the same as the Volkanovski, but I get like he's the favorite there, but by knockout, all right, it's a little weird. But then we got Volkanovski by submission, which put $1 on it. That would be amazing. +2,300. So looking at this, what do you get by looking at this? You know, based on a prediction of the fight.
I'm reading over these like 3-4 times. I'm thinking, damn.
Nothing takes me by surprise personally, except the Islam Makhachev knockout being the same as a knockout. Like that's very weird to me. I think it's mainly because obviously Islam beat in the first fight. It's in his homeland. He was already training for this exact date, which I understand. But when I don't know the resume, but when was the last time Islam actually had a knockout? I know he has knockout power. Don't get me wrong.
He does have knockout power.
But like, are you really expecting Islam to go for a knockout against Volk? Because
I don't see grind him out. I think he's gonna grind him out. If Islam wins, it's gonna be by decision. He's gonna grind him out. That's what he does.
I can see either. I can see that. Here's how I think the fight could play out on Islam's fight. This is the game plan. What I would have for Islam. You shown in the first fight. You're the bigger man. You're stronger. We already know Volkanovski is going to try and throw. He's going to try and do some slips, get a counter punch on you. Avoid the counter punches. Close the distance.
Yeah,
try to take down, push him back against the cage.
Pressure.
Don't necessarily fight against the cage the whole time, but pressure. Because Islam, hey, got cardio, right? Well, you're the champ. You were training for this. Push him, and get Volkanovski to be the one that throws a BS counter that you take him down on. Because a lot of times when these guys are pressed against the cage and they throw a over top right, you get them, boom, you get them, you're on their back, it's lights out, you can't get out. Because I'm willing to bet that if Volkanovski throws a couple of those wild punches like he did against Ortega that allowed Ortega to get him in the chokeholds, Islam's not losing that. Like, he's not getting out from Islam. Like, nothing to take away from Ortega, but there's fucking levels to this shit. Like,
yeah, that's a different level.
Like, Ortega's here, and then you got boom. There's levels. Like, he's not letting go of him. So I predict that from there. What is your game plan that you would have for Volkanovski's side?
Patience. Patience is virtue. Pick your spots, set your traps. Please do not get wild. You kind of got to be a little bit more calculated this fight than you were the first time. Just be very, very careful. Use your footwork. Get out at every time you feel your back going towards the cage. Get out. Just get out. Don't make it easy for him to pressure you. Test his cardio.
Yes.
Test his cardio. See how much he can go. Like, I'm not saying run, but test his cardio. See if he's gonna cut the octagon off when you make your exits getting out of those positions.
I agree.
Just don't put yourself in dumbass positions where Islam can get his hands on you. Don't do any wild shots like you were doing against Ortega and Max. Be smart. You got to go in there. You got to be calculated. Set traps. Once you set those traps, if I know I put you down once, I can do it again. I just got to be smart about it. And that's the mindset that Volk should have coming in this fight.
I think you left out one thing about that breakdown. I agree with everything else, but you're saying run away, right? Don't run away, but move.
Yeah.
Use the kicks, the low leg kicks to do that.
That's a jab. That's like his jab, bro. Them leg kicks are nasty. You're right, Bobby. You're right. You're 110% right, brother. As we say in boxing, don't be scared of. Put a little water in the basement and the house floods, and that means go. Don't be scared to go to the body with those kicks either. So, yeah, you're right. Use them kicks, and he's very good at it. So
we all know, UFC fans. We all know that when you start throwing leg kicks right from the get-go, a takedown fighter gets weary because they don't want to get caught by a knee.
It's the equivalent of a good body shot.
And you know what? The good thing is why I like to say that. I guarantee you Alexander Volkanovski was training that for Topuria. Because Topuria is kind of the same pressure fighter as Volk. So Volk was kind of figuring out, how do I beat myself? And I beat myself by keeping me off me by throwing leg kicks. So when you do that to a wrestler, it's the same thing as a striker. You keep the distance. Like you said, it's the same thing as a jab. Like jab, kick, jab, kick. Honestly, like, I would take a playbook out of Gaethje's book on how he fought. Obviously, like, Volk's a better, guy, better than Gaethje.
Absolutely.
Especially with avoiding getting caught with, the grappling and all like that. But I do think Volk, if he does everything you just said, he's going to frustrate the hell out of Islam. We saw that in rounds 4 and 5 in that
there
fight.
You go.
And I think if he starts out just go round 4 or 5, championship round right from the beginning, because Volkanovski's not going to get tired.
Yeah, he's not going to. It's one. Volk's always prepared. He's always prepared for these long fights. So, he's got to be smart, man. Use the octagon as your friend, if you know what I mean. Like, if you got to, the second he feels he's close to that cage, if I'm his coach and I see him take 3 steps back, I'm yelling. Mm-hmm. I'm yelling, go. I'm yelling, out. Like, I'm yelling, get away. Even if you're 5 feet away from the cage, I'm telling him to get away. He gotta use his mind in this one.
I think Islam Makhachev is unbelievable. Like,
absolutely.
He's a beast. Like, he beats most of the fighters, if not all the fighters in that division. A lot of the ones previously too. But this isn't really personal for him.
I beat you already.
This is personal for Volk. Because Volk, in all reality, like, he doesn't really have anything to lose by losing this fight.
Yeah.
But, like, the type of fighter he is and the type of legend that he wants to be when he's done, he has a whole lot to fucking lose in this.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go 0-2 moving up in weight. Even if it is against the same guy, you don't want to do that because look at Max. Max lost to Volk 3-4 times, whatever it was. That kind of knocks him down a little bit. He don't want that. So this is a big ego, a big history fight for Volkanovski. And, it's not going to hurt his resume currently if he does lose. But if he does win, he immediately goes into everybody's top 5 ever. Immediately. Yeah. You're already right there. And if he loses, he's not gonna drop. But if
I already got him over Aldo right now, and he's going a little bit past Max right now. So.
I can have him questionable. Me personally, I still have Aldo just because Aldo did it a lot longer.
But the body of work he did in that short time, that was pretty damn good, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I love Volk. He's my guy, especially bald Volk. We always rep the ball guys. So I'm hoping he comes out of the gate swinging.
Yeah,
we're gonna look at the odds again, and we're gonna have you pick. What do you think the outcome of this fight is going to be? Is it going to be Islam Makhachev being champion again, or are we going to see another double champ in Alexander Volkanovski? What is PJ, aka Stoop Kellerman's pick?
I'm gonna go Islam by decision.
Damn.
It's hard for me to go against that right now because he already beat him. And it's 11 days notice, and I'm sure Islam's like, you know what? I'm not going to put myself in any danger as well. People, think about how Islam's probably thinking right now. I'm not going to put myself in any danger. I know I'm stronger. I can get him down. I'm going to make this a very boring fight and get out of this. So I got Islam by decision. I'm in my home country. You're not beating me in where we're at right now. You're not beating by decision. I'm going to take that advantage.
Yeah, let's not.
I'm cheering for Volk though. I'm cheering for Volk so hard that I'll probably regret saying this, but I gotta roll with it.
In all reality, Islam Makhachev is unbelievable. I've sat here before and I've said he's better than Khabib.
Yeah,
he might be. I don't know. He's pretty damn good. But after all we just discussed, I am going to take double champ Alexander motherfucking Volkanovski by knockout. And I'm even going to say he's going to knock him out in round fucking 2. This is going to be a round 2 knockout by Volkanovski.
You're going round 2.
I'm going round 2 knockout.
Round 2. I was going to say knockout in about 3 or 4.
But I will say this. If it goes past round 2, it's Islam's going to torch him round 3 and 4 and 5. I think that.
I got to get him out of here quick and easy. Not easy. We got to get him out of here fast.
I think Volk, he even said in an interview where he was basically like, I'm not going in here for a decision again. I need to pour it out. And
yeah, he knows he can't though.
I think we know Volkanovski doesn't tire it out a lot, but it's a little different when you're fighting a guy like Islam that's going to keep grabbing you and keep grabbing you and keep grabbing you, and you want to knock him out because you don't want to get on the ground with him. So I think Volkanovski's going to pour everything he has on him rounds 1 and 2. And
he better.
I think it's going to be a knockout. If not, I foresee Islam submission round 4. I don't think this fight's going to go to the points. I don't.
Me either.
But the crazy thing is, most of these fights that are rematch, like a champ versus champ, they usually do go to either round 1 knockout or submission or round 5.
Or round 5, yeah.
Look at the Benavidez, Figueiredo, Moreno fights. They always went pretty far.
Oh, yeah.
Max Holloway and Volkanovski, they always went far. So it's nothing's out of the possibilities for this fight. But I love this fight. I could sit here and talk to you about it for another hour because I got a lot more information on here about this fight. I got a whole other piece of paper on here we can talk about. But we're going to move on to the next fight because I am just as hyped about this fight. We got the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman, moving up the middleweight to take on Borg, a.k.a. Khamzat Chimaev, the Boogeyman. Now, this fight, man, 2 guys that are absolutely ferocious, that just they want to kill you. Khamzat has one fight in his career where he was testing the waters against Burns, and it was kind of all right, we're gonna pull it back. Kamaru Usman's coming on a 2-fight losing streak to Leon Edwards, where in my honest opinion, he won the last fight. He should still be the current welterweight champion, in my opinion. And the first fight he was winning up until the last minute, got head kicked.
Yeah.
So what are your original thoughts on this fight?
When I first heard about it, I said, okay, props to Usman for stepping up. He doesn't have to cut a lot of weight, so he's going to be a little bit more comfortable. I like it better actually than the Volk fight, because we're about to see like Usman actually go in there with something new. We don't know. I'm pretty sure Khamzat doesn't know what to expect with Usman too, because the whole thing with somebody coming in late is they have to cut the weight. Usman doesn't. He walks around at 195 pounds, 200 pounds at times. 10 pounds ain't shit for him. So I like this fight. This is the fight I like more than the Volk fight, and I'm gonna be excited to see this.
I agree with you, man. One thing I want to point out on here, it's getting covered up by this fight IQ. People don't understand how great of a fight IQ.
Yes.
So far in Chimaev's short career, we've seen him make a lot of laps and errors.
But he's
unbelievable, though.
He's made up for that, though. Let's just say he's made up for
so much better than the opponent that he was fighting at that time.
Yeah.
Going against Kamaru Usman, I can't honestly sit here and tell you, all right, he's a lot overmatched, because he's not.
I don't think not a lot of it.
The only thing he might overmatch him in is his pace.
Yeah.
Like, not the cardio, but the pace. Because the thing is, people forget this is a 3-round fight.
Yeah.
So
you gotta get to it.
He's had 8 straight 5-round fights. He hasn't had a 3-round fight since 2018. Like, how is Kamaru Usman going to do? Is he going to, if he stays back in the championship round, like he's waiting for round 3, 4, 5?
Gotta get to it.
Different. But if he comes out and he gets to it right away, this might be a fucking like a 1-minute knockout by either guy. I don't know.
You got to go in there. You got to, as soon as that bell rings and that cage is locked up, you just got to get right to it. With that, for a 3-round fight, this is the only thing about MMA I hate, because it's like sometimes you got time to work and sometimes you don't got time to work. In this case, Usman has no time to work in this one, so he got to get right to it. He got to act like he's a bully. You got to go in there. You got to punch the bear in his mouth.
Yeah, you got to beat the bully by being the bully.
Yeah, you got to go in there. You got to go in there and say, "Fuck you."
Usman was the bully too. Like, people are giving Usman, man. It kind of
it's crazy.
I'm rooting for him because everyone's Chimaev's going to take him down in a minute and submit him. I'm like, y'all realize that? Like,
he's
my man,
one of the greatest.
He has the best takedown defense ever. Like, y'all forget.
He's one of the hardest fighters to take down.
Like, dude, no one takes him down at all. Like, I have a number right here. Hold on, wrong one. We'll show it after this, but we'll talk about that. I forgot to say a stat. Last one. There's been some noticeable previous short notice fights that have happened in UFC history. I'm gonna name a couple of them because it more correlates to the Volk fight, but it goes for this fight as well, given the fact that the winner of this fight is going to get Sean Strickland. On short notice, John Jones stepped in for Sugar Rashad against Rua, won the title. Ortega stepped in for Max when he was supposed to fight Frankie Edgar, and he knocked out Frankie Edgar.
Nasty too.
Justin Gaethje was supposed to fight Khabib when he fought Tony. Khabib was supposed to fight Tony. Gaethje stepped in. Gaethje knocked out Tony. First knockout ever by Tony. Tony ever got knocked out. And then let's not forget when RDA went down and Diaz stepped in and beat the fuck out of Conor. So, like, there's a lot of these fights that you look at them and you get two like really good fighters, two real high IQ fighters that going into a fight, and everyone's leaning towards one side. We're like, Chimaev is going to kill this guy. Like, he's coming off 2 losses, this and that. So I just want to remind you guys, don't sleep on the sleeping giant here, because Kamaru Usman might be on a losing streak. But like we said about Volk, he got a lot of, his own ego going into this fight because it means a lot for him. So
it's not personal. We know that. We know one thing: this fight isn't personal.
It's not personal towards Chimaev, but it is personal in the fact that Usman wants to go down as one of the best ever. So in that aspect, it is personal because if he wins this fight, he's knocking off the Lion and he's getting Sean Strickland, the guy who already dominated.
That's been the big talk all week. He beats Chimaev, right? He beats Chimaev. He automatically gets title shot.
And he already beat Sean Strickland.
He beat the shit out of Sean Strickland.
Still, given it was a different weight class, it was at the welterweight, but still. So it is personal for him in a sense of this is the guy standing in front of me of my next goal. So last time we saw Usman get counted out like this, even though it wasn't 11 days notice, he absolutely dominated Tyron Woodley. Absolutely dominated him. That was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, but still. This guy's a freak athlete. He's a expert preparer, so don't have that going out. So I got coming up next. We got to watch this. This was one of the most. This reminded me of Mike Tyson. This weigh-in. Watch this weigh-in.
All business. All fucking business.
Just watch him. Look at the stare down, bro.
All business.
Like,
I'm telling y'all, don't sleep on my guy.
Staring at each other. Like, who's gonna flinch first?
All business.
Like, nah. Like, look at that. Intense, bro. Why is this not a 5-round fight? Like, dude. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Like, both guys are ready. Both guys are fucking ready, man. And I'm excited. I'm excited for that because I think that weigh-in right there showed – the face-off right there showed that both guys aren't necessarily, like, personal towards each other.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're both like, yo, you're standing in my fucking way.
Yeah.
And you got a former champion, number 2, at worst, number 3 welterweight ever against Chimaev, who no one wants to fight him. So we got it. We got a lot there. So we got the stats here, man.
Jeez.
Like, look at the fight differences here. This is one thing people ought to understand. When you're a veteran like Usman is, that means something when you're going up against a guy like this.
Doesn't get hit a lot.
Kamaru Usman had 17 fights compared to Khamzat 6. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot. Strikes landed per minute. Kamaru Usman's at 4.46. Khamzat is at 7.3. Considering the fact that he probably hasn't fought for over a minute in like 3 of his fights, that's pretty damn good. But let's look at something here. Strikes absorbed. I think this is very, very underlooked stat. Kamaru Usman is only at 2.75, where Khamzat is at 3.98. That's a lot. So
takes on more damage.
Out and fight like he did against Jorge, like he did against Burns, like he did against Tyron. There's an opening to hit.
Yeah.
And consider the fact that Khamzat would basically only hit in one fight. So for that strike score to be that high, it's pretty crazy.
Gilbert Burns.
The big stat of the day, though, we got takedown defense. Kamaru Usman is 97%, where
it's 100%.
100. But Khamzat's only been tried to be taken down once. It was Kevin Holland, which was bad. He got destroyed that fight. But takedown average, though, Kamaru Usman's at 2.96, and Khamzat's at 3.98. We got a lot of stats there that you can look at. But, again, I think in a fight like this, you throw these stats away because, like I said, like Khamzat has never fought anybody even relatively close to Usman, and Usman hasn't fought a 3-round fight in forever. So you don't know if he's going to come out right away or if he's going to be slow. So what's your first prediction here? What not prediction, let's say game plan for Kamaru Usman. What is your game plan if you're his coach?
All right. Again, stay off the cage. Stay off the cage. Do not get anywhere close to the cage. keep everything down the pike. And what I mean by that, keep everything with straight shots. Don't go out there and try to throw haymakers. Keep everything short. Be explosive. Be athletic and be smart. Don't go out there and try to rough him up. You're not going to rough him up. He's not going to get roughed up. Like this. Keep everything short. Just he comes at you, bang bang, 2-piece, bang bang, get out the way. Bang bang, get out the way. Don't use all your tools. Don't go out there and think I'm going to treat him like I did like Tyron Woodley. Don't go out there and think you're going to knock him the fuck out like you did Jorge Masvidal. Keep everything short. He stays open down the pike. He gets hit like this a lot. This is basically what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
Don't try to wrestle him either. Please do not try to muscle him. Just be smart. And I guarantee you he can pull it out.
Yeah, I don't know what to really expect there because, like I said, is he going to fight like a 5-round fight that he fought, or is he going to come out and be, third round right from the beginning? We'll see. But for those of you, I do want to talk about real quick because I do have a bet going on right now that Usman will not lose by submission because everybody's saying
I agree.
Because Khamzat Chimaev just takes everybody down, submits them. But this is a stat I got for you motherfuckers. 1 for 37 takedowns against Kamaru Usman. Leon Edwards was 1-6. And if you remember, that takedown that he had was because he got fucking hit and he got rocked. And Kamaru was throwing, and he jumped on him real quick. That shit wasn't even a takedown. Like, he was 0 for 6. Fuck that one. That was a bullshit. Tyron Woodley was 0 for 1, and he dominated Tyron Woodley. Colby Covington, a guy that pounds people to the ground, was 0-11. Gilbert Burns, a guy that knows how to take him down because he trains with him, was 0-3. Rafael Dos Anjos, a guy that takes people down, was only 0 for 1. He didn't even try because he knew it was like fucking impossible. And then Damian Maia, who the guy who's known for just living on the ground, was 0 for 15. And this is Damian Maia, 15 attempts or 15 legit attempts. This guy ain't just grabbing your leg. He's trying to take you down.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
All this shows that he's just used the pressure.
Yeah.
He likes the pressure. This is all it's saying is try to take me down.
I agree.
That's what he's saying. Like, if y'all see them stats, if you guys see the stats, one man has taken him down. A Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu round fighter.
It wasn't a legit like stand-up takedown. It was fuck, I got robbed.
Yeah,
I did. It was like a clinch, and Kamaru Usman got right back up. Like his ground time in that fight was 3 seconds.
I don't think people understand 0-15 for Damian Maia. I don't think the significance of that stat that people are like seeing. That is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert. That is a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert. And you're 0 for 15 against Kamaru Usman.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, would I be shocked? It's a short notice fight. He might not be in tip-top shape considering the fact that he's fighting at a heavier weight. He's not really cutting. He might not be used to it. But I think Kamaru Usman's a freak athlete. I don't think that's really going to affect him in that way.
Got to pick his spots, man.
Yeah.
Let him pick his spots. It's a 3-round fight. Still got to be smarter in this one. This isn't, I mean, no disrespect to Tyron Woodley. He's not fighting Tyron Woodley where he knows he can bully him. He's going to have to be smart. He's going to have to earn the respect in there. That first round, go in there and smack him in the mouth. The second round, see what you can do after that. Just be smart. The whole fight, he has to be smart.
I think it's gonna be it's a tough fight because we know Khamzat is a guy that's a pressure in your fucking face type of guy.
But
that's exactly what Usman's looking for. But
he welcomes that.
Yeah, but like his last 2 fights against Leon, he wasn't doing a lot of output when they came in. So it's like, was he doing that because he was waiting for the championship rounds? He's trying to make it a 5-round fight. But if he fights like a 5-round fight, he's gonna get his ass whooped. Because you gotta talk. You gotta have Justin Gaethje in your fucking corner yelling at you right from
his best friends.
Pressure. Because like even though Kamaru Usman got knocked out, he has a great jaw. He got knocked out.
Oh, he has a great chin. That was first of all, people that don't know fighting those. That was a hell of a shot he threw. That was a pinpoint shot. If you ever get pinpoint,
like a lot of fighters that get knocked out and then they can't take a shot. Like that wasn't one of those kicks. That one of those knockouts. That was one that was like, damn, I fucked up.
See it coming.
That wasn't one where it's gonna scar you. Where I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna get hit. Because we saw that in the last fight against Leon. He was not scared of getting hit by him at all.
No, he wasn't back too much.
Even though Khamzat's a different type of animal, Kamaru Usman ain't scared of nobody. But I want to listen to this clip of Kamaru Usman real quick because I think this guy's a fucking savage. I love him. Here we go.
Paulo Costa could be a pain in the ass, no doubt about it. But he's seriously injured.
Be honest, brother. He shit himself. That's why.
Oh, y'all hear what he said? Play it again. So they asked him about Paulo Costa.
Paulo Costa
could be a pain in the ass, no doubt about it. But he's seriously injured.
Be honest, brother. He shit himself. That's why.
Yeah.
God, I wanted to see him kick his ass so bad.
Yeah, like this fight is much better than the
Costa much fight. Better.
I think a lot of
I would enjoy
because I don't think a lot of people actually want to see Kamaru Usman get knocked out or get his ass whooped like that. Where like everybody wanted to see Paulo get his ass beat like that. So it's kind of like it's a win-lose. We're getting a better fight, but we're missing like this dude to just get flatlined.
It's unfair. We got cheated. In a way, we got cheated of an ass kicking, but we got something better though. So I can't knock it fully. Like I'm not gonna get mad at it too much, but I would have loved to see Paulo Costa get killed.
I agree. So we got a hell of a fight here. Let's bring up the odds for this, and then let's make our predictions. We got the favorite is Khamzat Chimaev minus 320. Where Kamaru Usman is the underdog at plus 235, which he's the first underdog in a fight since the Tyron Woodley fight back in 2019 for Kamaru Usman.
That was short notice.
It was. He whooped his ass.
And did he?
Yeah, whooped his ass. The method of victory, we got Khamzat Chimaev by KO plus 230, Khamzat by points plus 270, Khamzat by submission plus 310. Everything's going to Khamzat here. And then we got Kamaru Usman by points plus 500, Usman by KO plus 600, and Usman by submission plus 2,300. Now, what is your prediction for the fight?
Can I give two sides of prediction for this one? Because I don't have a clear prediction for it.
Round? I got the rounds up here. They think it's gonna be a round one finish. They got KO Khamzat round one plus 550, submission Khamzat round one plus 700.
I don't think it's gonna be a round one finish, so I'll say no to that. Trying to see what else they got up here. I think if Kamaru wins, it's gonna be a TKO in the second. If Khamzat wins, it's damn. Can you scroll down a little bit?
The last one on there is
the round two.
Submission round one, 5,000. Submission round two, 5,000. Submission round three, 5,000.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Kamaru gets him in the second.
By knockout or submission?
Knockout.
All right, so you got knockout plus 2,000 round two. All right, I'm not arguing.
I see something in Kamaru in that his eyes, bro. He's not all him. It's like he knows.
Wait, so you have Usman by round two or Chimaev by round two? You there? Damn, my man cut out. So I don't know if he had Kamaru Usman. Paulie, Mr. Stoops gone. So I'm going to finish the podcast here. So we got my guy. The odds are up on the board here. And I got I think this fight is going to be more along the lines of something like we saw in the Tyron Woodley fight. You know how we saw Tyron Woodley was the favorite against Kamaru Usman, and then Kamaru Usman looked at that and was like, yo, fuck that, and just took a game plan that Tyron Woodley used against opponents, used that against him by putting a lot of pressure on him and just simply pushing him against the cage and getting a takedown, letting him up, just pounding him. I think that's going to be what we're going to see this time. So I'm going to go with, there's my guy back. So as I was just saying while you were gone, I think this fight is going to be a lot like the Kamaru Usman versus Tyron Woodley fight.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the game plan to beat both these guys is relatively the same. And I think in the Tyron Woodley fight, Tyron Woodley came into the fight against Kamaru Usman. He was the favorite to win the fight. So what Kamaru Usman did was he used the Tyron Woodley game plan against him and he pushed him against the cage. And he didn't hold him on the ground, but he kept just pushing him against the ground and beating him and then taking him back down. I honestly think Khamzat Chimaev is going to do that same exact thing. I think he is going to take down Usman maybe once or twice, but I think he's going to knock him out in round 2. I don't think Usman is ready for this fight at all. I love the fact that he's taking it on 11 days notice. But we see a lot of times when guys go from 5-round fights to 3-round fights. We saw it with Rashad Evans. They don't start off with pressure. And if you start off, or Usman has started off in his last couple fights where you're kind of not pressure and you're kind of backing up, kind of letting the fight come to you, you don't do that against Khamzat. So unless he comes out here with a completely different game plan, Khamzat's pressure is going to absolutely crush Kamaru Usman. And I'm not even taking nothing away from Kamaru Usman because I think if Kamaru Usman does come out with a great game plan, this is going to be a decision fight because they're both that skilled. But I think just the way this fight came about, the way that Kamaru Usman has fought his last couple fights, it's very hard to switch your game plan like that. It's very hard because he was already training for a guy that's a slow-paced guy in Bilal Muhammad. So you got 11 days. Say, all right, yo, we got to pick it up. You got to pick the pace up right from the beginning because, yes, that was a 3-round fight against Bilal, but the pace of that fight is probably not – you probably weren't going to throw as many punches in that entire fight as that's going to be needed in the first round of this fight. And I think that's a big problem. Big problem. But Gilbert Burns showed that you can hit Chimaev and knock him out. And
that's the thing right there.
See, the fight IQ is going to be very huge in this fight, whereas if Chimaev's come out and is like, yo, I'm going to knock this dude the fuck out, Kamaru Usman's a very good counterpuncher.
He is. I mean, ask Jorge how it was. I mean, the shot that beat him was down the pike. The same thing with he throws wild shots. His tendency where he overthrows too with his pressure. I'm talking about Chimaev. Like a lot of times he overthrows just to get you against the cage. When he's pressuring you, you keep everything short. Bang, 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 right down the middle. Not saying it's easy. It's not. It's absolutely not easy. That's a big man he's in there with. But Kamaru gotta be smart. He gotta know. He gotta know. He gotta know when he can be explosive and when not to be. So I think he just keeps everything straight.
Yeah, I got this being a great fight. I think both
my favorite fight.
Legends. We'll see what happens. I think it's gonna be a knockout by one of them.
One.
Honestly, I don't really care who it is because I think either guy wins the title. Like I said, I'm more rooting for Kamaru Usman just simply because of the hate that he's getting.
Yeah.
I already know I'd love to see somebody try and beat Chimaev, especially if he had the belt. You know, I'd love to see that. But
don't this kind of sound like Bud Crawford versus Spence? Spence was the bigger, stronger, more dangerous fighter. But the more technically sound fighter was Bud. Skills pay the bills. They both have skills though, so it's kind of not the greatest comparison. But skills pay the bills, and I think Kamaru's a little bit more patient with his stuff. I think Kamaru is actually a better counterpuncher if we're talking about strictly striking. Smarter. The fight IQ is definitely, like you said, Chimaev, he does dumb shit in octagon and can't do that against a guy like Usman. He can't. And especially a guy who's he's probably gonna be a little bit more comfortable at 85.
Yeah, I agree with you. We'll see. His first fight.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're gonna see, man, because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
It's definitely gonna be tough. This is not either fighter. This is a tough fight because you don't want to be that guy and sleep on a guy who's picking up a fight on 11 days. But you also don't want to be that guy that's coming in on 11 days and notice think I'm just gonna go in there and give everything I got and fuck around and get knocked out. So, like you said, he was training for Bilal. Bilal's a slower pace fighter. He kind of wants to make it a boring fight, wrestle you to death, throw that jab, and that's not Khamzat. That's not Khamzat at all. Like,
you never know sometimes when you're coming into a fight like this and you're like, all right, like I'm used to fighting one pace, and then this guy comes out, Khamzat, and they start pressuring you. Might be a good thing for him because honestly, like,
it might be a great thing for him.
It's just the type of fight that Kamaru Usman actually needed. Because
I think so too, and if he walks out Saturday night, Sunday morning with his hand raised, I think we're gonna see something different out of him from here on out. Yeah. So
I mean, I'm not gonna count Sean out at all, but like middleweight champ Kamaru Usman, I like it. We'll see.
I ain't gonna count Sean out. I ain't gonna count Sean out either because being the boxing freak that I am, I absolutely love the way he fought Izzy. He always fights like that anyway, but that was a beautiful piece of work I seen from Izzy. I still think Usman gets him though.
That's why I'm like, it's an interesting fight. Kamaru Usman, Izzy, friends, brothers, basically.
It could set up a lot. Yo, Usman can shake up the middleweight division, man. He can shake it up a little bit. You got Alex there now too, so when Alex bounces back and forth between 85 and 205, like
85 title. He's on the next main event. He's the next co-main.
Yeah, he's the next co-main. Yeah.
These last couple fights we got at the end of the year, phenomenal. Starting by these two. But let's get a little bit into the prelims here real quick. We're just going to do a couple predictions here. We're going to start about your first fight here. You like Ankalaev versus Walker. You like Johnny Walker. I like him too. But
I do.
Ankalaev, he's 9-1 in the UFC. Well, 9-1-1.
Fuck him up, though.
He's going to fuck him up.
He's gonna fuck Johnny Walker up. Like I think it might go. Johnny Walker's a blood warrior though. He's gonna go in there and he'll brawl with you if he has to. I think Ankalaev is just gonna pick him apart.
Yeah,
probably first hand knockout.
The crazy thing is, like, the fight average for Johnny Walker is 6 minutes and 35 seconds, which is 5th in the UFC. And Ankalaev has went to decision like every fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
I mean, he has 5 knockouts and 1 submission, but like all the other ones were like dragged out fights. We saw that against Young. So it's like another one. Like if Johnny Walker comes into this fight and pushes that Johnny Walker pace, he could get a knockout here against Ankalaev.
He could, yeah. He's a blood and guts warrior, man. At first I didn't really appreciate Johnny Walker, I guess, but like I've grown to really like this guy. I mean, like I appreciate his game.
See his number on the bottom here: takedown accuracy 100%. So like the only loss that Ankalaev has was a submission by Paul Craig. He submitted Ankalaev. So if I'm Johnny Walker out on the game plan, pressure, I'm trying to take this motherfucker down right from the beginning. And Absolutely. If he can win by submission. But I think he's going to get knocked the fuck out. Like typical Johnny Walker roller coaster. He's climbs all the way up. He's looking great, and then he fucking crashes and burns real quick. I'm rooting for Johnny Walker, though. I think this kid's electrifying. I think he's only 31 years old still, so is Ankalaev. But, I mean, like, he got a lot of talent. He's very athletic.
He's a contender, bro. He's definitely a contender. So, we'll see, though.
We'll see. So, who you got in this fight?
Ankalaev.
Let's run through the rest of the main card here. We got Iskaram Aliskerov versus Warley Alves. We got minus 670 for Aliskerov and plus 430 for Alves. Who you got in that fight?
Iskalav. I like. It's another guy I do like. I like Alvarez too, but Iskalav, he's strong guy, bro.
I think Askarov is gonna. He's minus 670 for a reason. He's 14-1 in the UFC. His only loss was to Sean Strickland when Sean Strickland took that short notice fight and whooped his ass. But yeah, it was a humbling fight for him. You got what's called Alves was on Tough season 3 all the way back in 2014. He's making a comeback here at middleweight. It's his first middleweight fight since then, and I think he's gonna get his ass knocked out. Then our first fight of the night on here, we got Said Nurmagomedov at minus 235 versus Muin Gafarov at plus 180. Who you got in that fight?
I got Khabib's little cousin.
Yeah, I got him winning by submission here as well. I like that fight. I honestly think that's probably a lock because he's got a lot to prove, especially on this card. He's got to start off for his country.
We got to see which round that's going to be.
After that fight, we got Mike Breeden versus Anshul Jubilee. Minus 340 for Jubilee, plus 250 for Breeden. Don't really know much about them fighters, so I'm going to go with the favorite, who I believe is undefeated.
Yeah, 7-0 kid.
Then we got Cedric Dumas, minus 230 versus Abu Azaitar at plus 176. I actually seen a couple of the Dumas fights. That dude I like him a lot. I actually think he should probably be a little bit more favored in this fight, so I think he's going to win. Then we got Dumas. Yeah, I got Dumas. And then we got undefeated Javid Basharat at minus 590 versus Tarzan, a.k.a. Victor Henry, at plus 390. I get why Basharat is minus 590, but Henry's a sneaky fighter, dude. Like, this guy's like one of them fighters. He's 23-6. He's a veteran. He has a lot of kind of reminds me of Johnny Walker, to be honest with you. Like, he can do a lot of stuff. It's just like, how reckless are you going to be?
Yeah, reckless.
When he's not, he's tough. But unfortunately for him, I think he's going to get just picked apart in this fight by Basharat. I got Basharat by decision. So fuck that 590. We're going to go by decision in that fight. And then we got this fight I like. We got Trevor Peek at minus 166 versus Mohamed Yaha. Trevor Peek came off the Dana White Contender Series. He fought a couple months back, and he had a first-round knockout.
There's a lot of hype behind him.
He was actually the underdog in this fight when the fight card was announced. Now he's the favorite.
Yeah.
Think about this. Got him winning. I got
him winning too. A lot of these guys that come off the Contender, they actually been some decent fighters lately. So I like him too, man. I'm taking the same one. By decision, though.
And then we got the prelims finale. We got veteran Tim Elliott.
Crafty veteran Tim Elliott.
He's coming off 2 straight wins. He won 4 out of 5. He's plus 350 against a young buck, 23-year-old Muhammad Makhachev, who's minus 520, who's 10-0 in the UFC right now. And if you guys remember, his last fight, he got in a leg lock where they popped his knee. He did not tap out, and he came back and won the fight. This dude's unbelievable. He stated that he wants to be a champion by next year. So,
and he's in the flyweight division. So I mean, they just toss around that belt at this time.
Yeah, he's scared.
I'm gonna go with the young bull. I'm gonna go with the 11. No, I like the crafty veteran in Tim Elliott, but I'm gonna go with the young bull on this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I got Muhammad as well. I think it's going to be an easy win for him. But that's the whole fight card, guys. If you guys want to get all of our actual picks, be sure to hop on our Instagram at Stoop Life Sports. You see it right here behind me on the Instagram. Follow that. I post all the picks on there. We're shooting at about every single fight card this year. I'm shooting at about 75%, which is phenomenal, considering the fact that 2 fight cards ago was really bad. But other than that, the last 2-3 months, we've been 90%. We've been on fire. This fight card right here, you can't go wrong. Just parlay all the Russians, for real.
Basically, just parlay all the Russians, yeah. basically.
Probably. I mean, you're going to lose because Volkanovski is going to win, but you can cash it out at the end at least. But
Hey, I got Usman winning, so one of us is going to take it out. So.
Yeah. But for real, check it out. I got all the picks on there, and I don't got nothing else to talk about. We gave a good breakdown there. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys got some insight on what you think's going to happen for the fight. And obviously, like for a fight like this, I will be back. We'll be back to give like our thoughts of it. After. So thanks for listening. Paulie, if you got anything to say, go ahead, and then we out.
Watch out for the couple of boxing breakdowns we got coming. We got Big Tyson Fury versus MMA's finest Ngannou. Then we have a Tyson Fury versus Usyk finally. So we're gonna watch out for that breakdown right there, brother. And we also have a banger in boxing. We have David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. Hell of a fight coming up. So not this ain't as big as the UFC, but those are some good fights right there. So watch out for those.
They're knuckle fighting. Mike Perry versus Eddie Alvarez.
Ooh, versus my man Eddie. It's gonna be a hell of those two are meant to fight each other. Those two are meant to fight each other. Somebody's gonna die. That's a lot of blood. It's gonna be a lot of blood.
I'll be too.
Kensington, let's be real. Kensington is gonna be cheering like a motherfucker. So
and don't forget, on top of that, we got December 15th. We got Jake Paul versus Diaz again. Yay! Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, it pissed me off, but you got that to look forward to as well.
YouTube boxers.
Yeah, whatever though. But y'all, thanks for tuning in. Good luck on your parlays. If you want to win more, check us out on Instagram at Stoop Life Sports. We got the wins on there. So y'all, thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all. Go Phillies.
Go Phillies.